This is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey everyone, another week of quarantine and yet another episode of Trash Can Tidbits. I admit it is a little depressing to go through this, I'm not gonna lie, but like everyone else out there, I might as well make the best of it. Hopefully there's a break soon. Anyway, last week, I asked the question, who was the first actor to play the role of Monterey Jack on Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers? The answer is Peter Cullen. Best known as the voice of Optimus Prime from the Transformers franchise, Cullen voiced Monty in the first season of Rescue Rangers and about the first half of the second season. After that, Jim Cummings took over the role, in addition to playing the show's main villains, Fat Cat and Professor Nimnol. With that out of the way, let's get right into it with fact number 1. Did you know that children's author Shel Silverstein wrote the Johnny Cash song A Boy Named Sue? Yep. Apparently, the man who wrote The Giving Tree and Where the Sidewalk Ends wrote a comedy song for the country legend. It was also the first time the words son of a used in a song, and Silverstein's Silver Tongue was also used in another song title whose name I will not say here. I gotta keep it PG for the kids. Fact 2. Did you know that the Looney Tunes cartoon Three Little Bops, a jazz retelling of the Three Little Pigs, was one of the first cartoons to not feature the voice of Mel Blanc, and have somebody else credited and entirely provide the voice of all the characters? In this case, it was the late great Stan Freberg who did all the voices for the characters. It was also one of the first cartoons to not feature any music from famed Looney Tunes composer Carl Stalling, but instead, jazz legend Shorty Rogers and his swingin' band provided the soundtrack for the cartoon. Fact 3. Did you know that we've actually been pronouncing the name Voldemort from the Harry Potter series wrong the whole time? The movie pronounces it as Voldemort with a hard T sound, but according to the Harry Potter books on tape, the correct pronunciation is Voldemort with no T sound at all. The word mort in French with its proper pronunciation means death, which would be apropos to the character of He Who Must Not Be Named. Fact 4. Did you know that Princess Jasmine from Aladdin has a few notable firsts in the Disney princess line? First and foremost, her being adventurous, she's the first Disney princess to wear pants. And most notably, the one thing that everyone forgets to mention, she is the only Disney princess to actually kiss a villain. I wonder why they never got to recreate that moment in the live-action Aladdin remake to come full circle, as Jafar was certainly a hottie in that movie. Fact 5. Did you know that the Haunted Mansion featured in the movie Casper would later be used for a popular 90s music video? The interior set of Whipstaff Manor used in the movie, particularly the spiral floor pattern and staircase, would be seen a few years later for the Backstreet Boys music video, Everybody Backstreet's Back. You know, I remember that music video very well, as each member of the Backstreet Boys portrayed a specific movie monster. Now, after learning that the same set was used in Casper, I always wondered why Casper the Friendly Ghost himself didn't cameo in the video. Oh well. Fact 6. Did you know that Fay Wray, star of the original King Kong, was considered to make a cameo appearance in the King Kong remake directed by Peter Jackson? Jackson considered having her appear at the end of the movie, saying the classic final line, "It wasn't the airplanes, it was beauty killed the beast." Unfortunately, due to her illness and eventual death, she couldn't participate. She did, however, give her blessing to Naomi Watts for inheriting her famous role, and she's also directly referenced in the movie as Carl Denham, as played by Jack Black, is listing off some potential actresses to star in his film. The reference goes further, stating that Faye is making a movie with Cooper, as in Marion C. Cooper, the original director of King Kong. Fact 7. Did you know that Eddie Murphy is directly responsible for the creation of the horror movie Get Out? Director Jordan Peele has stated that he was inspired by Murphy's stand-up movie Delirious, where he made a joke about how there are not enough black people in horror movies and how white characters just don't leave right away when they encounter ghosts. An example being in movies like Poltergeist. He, being street smart as well as black, would want to leave a haunted house the second he'd learned it was actually haunted. Ironically, this joke was actually put to the test when Eddie Murphy himself starred in Disney's The Haunted Mansion, which pays further homage to this classic joke. So, without that joke and his appearance in The Haunted Mansion, the movie Get Out probably wouldn't even exist, so thank you, Eddie Murphy. Fact 8. Did you know that prior to the portrayal in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, action star Wesley Snipes trained for years to make a Black Panther movie? He kept hitting setbacks because the original director he chose, the late John Singleton, wanted to take the character away from his African roots and set the story in New York City during the Civil Rights Movement. Snipes would instead play another Marvel superhero, the vampire hunter Blade, and would eventually be deemed too old to play Black Panther. Fortunately, he has seen the current movie, loves it, and also approves of Mahershala Ali's casting for Blade's entry into the MCU. 9. Did you know that an Easter egg contained in Uncharted 4 A Thief's End makes reference to an infamous error that happened during a live showing of the game? At E3 2015, when the first playable demo of the game was shown, after the introductory cutscene, there was no movement on screen for about 45 seconds. This was apparently due to the controller being used, which was hooked up to another console that was not on stage, which created some super awkward moments for the Naughty Dog developers. If you do the same thing in the actual game at the same moment from the demo, make Nathan Drake stand still for 45 seconds, you'll earn an achievement called Stage Fright, which goes to show that the game developers know how to make fun of themselves. Fact 10. Did you know that Animaniacs had a few ideas for full-length movies, but only one made it to fruition as a 2-part episode? Although the movie Wacko's Wish is considered to be the official Animaniacs movie, other ideas that were pitched to Warner Brothers was an Animaniacs spin on the Oliver Twist story, and a movie called Hooray for North Hollywood, in which the Warners attempt to make their own movie. The latter ended up actually being made, though it was on the show itself as a 2-part episode. And here's this week's bonus question. The animated Disney classic Beauty and the Beast has a great cast of supporting characters in the Enchanted Castle, but they mostly have one thing in common. Almost none of them refer to Belle by her real name, except one. My question to you is, which of the enchanted objects in Beauty and the Beast refers to Belle by her real name? And there we go for this week. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, as well as other videos I've been putting out in the meantime, such as my 10 things to do in isolation video. I'm glad I was able to make a lot of you out there laugh. Hopefully I get to do more skit-like videos in the future. Please don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, share this video, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.